Alright, I'm in the middle of my tire install and I wanted to do a little bit of talking about motors. This is how the stock setup looks like, and you can tell this one has the 180 motor in it because it's sticking out just a little bit. The RTR version comes with a 130 motor and it doesn't stick out of the transmission as much. I picked these up off of eBay from China. This one is 6,000 RPM and this one is a 20,000 RPM, actually 21,000. I just thought I'd have some fun with it, maybe put some drift tires on one of them and try to drift it. These are both 180 motors, and this one's totally sealed, so I was going to use this one for whatever I use for more mud, and obviously this one would be for speed. But that's only for the stock setup, and I picked up the single speed upgrade for this one. And it comes with a 370 motor on that, and that's a gear reducer in there, and then it's got metal gears inside of a 3D printed plastic case. It has drive shaft on each end. Yeah, keep in mind if you get that, you need a longer drive shaft for the front than the one in the rear. And I've done a little bit of running with that motor in there, and I've got to say it's pretty weak. Also, it was getting extremely hot, and I think we were running it for about maybe 10 minutes, and not very hard running. And it was quite hot, and I think the motor isn't quite rated for 2S. And that's what I was running in. It was a 2-cell. But I picked this motor up. This is for a Andromeda, and this is rated. I'm going to see if I can't stick this thing on there, and hopefully it'll work with that transmission. This is just a shot in the dark. You see it's a 370, it's a brushed, and it says that this is a 35 turn motor. And again, this is from Andromeda. 35 turn, 370. And that should be able to handle the big tires that are going on there. I believe the stock motors can handle 2S pretty well, but these can handle 2S. They're rated up to 12 volt, both of these are. But this stock motor that came with this single speed, I just don't think it's rated for 2-cell. If it is, it just doesn't handle it very well. It gets really hot, and it wasn't a hot day. It was shady in the afternoon, and we were, like I said, we were running it for like 10 or 15 minutes. It was not very long at all. So if you want to keep it simple, you can upgrade to the 180 motor. They have an N20 setup or an N30 setup that you can get that has gear reducers on it. It's a dual motor on there. But I like that single speed pretty good. It looks, more official to me. The dual motor, it does pretty good. It's pretty powerful. But I like this type of setup. It's more of like hobby grade RC, I would say. WPL also offers a 2-speed that has plastic gears in it, but has a servo that goes on the back that has 2 speeds. It can change between speeds with one of your channels if you want to go that route. But I prefer to keep it simple. I like the 1-speed, nothing against the 2-speed. I don't know, it does hang down pretty far, but I don't know, I just like that one better. I like the way it looks. I like how it has the motor, big motor sticking off the side. I'm not really into that N20 setup deal. A lot of people have gotten it, and it does pretty good. Now my ESC is rated for up to 3-cell, and I can run a 3-cell if I wanted to, but I would definitely fry that motor. And I'm not going to change that motor out until it's totally done. Once it's done and it fries or breaks or anything like that, then I'll change it out. I'm not going to change it out just to change it out. I'm not into that. I like to get my money's worth out of something. And the reason my other truck is still in pieces, I had to salvage the receiver so I could build this one. And I'm waiting for waterproof receivers from China that take at least a month. Then I'll rebuild my white one, and then I should have my diff covers by then. I'm going to build a B24. That's enough motor talk. I'm sure you're wondering what I've got going on here. Now this is the rim, a stock rim. You can see in there. I drilled out and JB welded this adapter on there because I wanted a spacer, and I just could not find anything And a lot of people are 3D printing their stuff, and I just do not have a 3D printer, or really the extra funds to buy a $300 3D printer. I want one, but I'm not getting one. And that worked out pretty good. It is JB welded onto the outside hub of the stock rim, and you really can't see it. Well, these are very deep rims, and it was rubbing that shock, and you can see I've got a lot more room now. But I noticed when this thing sits down, these hubs, they have a lot of play, so these tires are gonna kind of camber in a little bit when I set the truck down. So I do have some new shocks on the way, oil filled. I believe they're oil filled. They're a little bit longer, so this truck's gonna be even taller. It's gonna be even taller in a little bit. They should be here in 20-30 days. But I kind of just balanced that thing on there once I JB welded it, and I just made sure the spacing was even all the way around. I kind of just eyeballed it. This is not perfect. This is not going to be, perfect by no means, but it is going to work. It's going to let me bolt my tires on. Finally, I've been waiting to successfully drive this with the big tires. And there it is, bolted on. And I'm going to show you. It is extra wide. But, you gotta do what you gotta do to get it on there, It's gonna be a sand truck, I guess. But it's not that much wider. But she looks pretty stout like that. I like it. And it's gonna be a little bit taller. And I'm gonna do some suspension adjustments. I think I'm gonna change these up a little bit. I think I might use these upper holes to kind of tilt the axles inwards a little bit to change the angle. I don't know if you can see the angle in there. It's a little bit off. It's a little bit off on the lift. So I'm going to change that angle a little bit, and that will bring these tabs up. I might just cut them off, and that will bring my ground clearance up a little bit, because these were getting hung up on some spots. This one ain't so bad, but I do want to protect that drive shaft a little bit, so I'm going to keep it kind of low, but I'm going to bring it up just a little bit into this open area here. It's going to bring my clock the axles a little bit better, and it's going to make my ground clearance a little bit better and everything else. And also I think it might bring this wheel back. I'm going to see how it's a little bit into the front end of this fender, and I think that looks a little bit goofy. It's not that bad, but it looks like it's like stretched out to the front, and that's kind of monster truckish, which I'm not upset about it, but it would be nice if it was more centered. But I guess it is kind of centered. It's not that bad. But I think clocking that axle will fix that issue a little bit as well. Plus, once I put the big shocks on there, it'll be probably like somewhere in there, and it'll still flex into it a little bit. I think they're going to be a little bit softer, and then I don't know. We'll see how she runs, but either way, she'll be digging in pretty good. A lot of people are into that camper, so I'm going to put the camper on there. My son likes the camper too. I just like a pickup truck. She is looking stout. Let's roll this old stock tire in here. It's not that much bigger, but it does help. Stick around for my next video for running. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I'm going to go ahead and grab the remote now. just like I thought, it's binding up on that front fender. That one right there is digging into that tire. So we're going to have to back it up. Plus we're just going to have to go after some dirt until we get them new shocks in. We're going to have to be really careful with this thing. Keeps wanting to bind up on that front end. You can see it right there. Got a tumbleweed. I'm also going to have to get a different drive shaft. That front drive shaft keeps slipping on there. I think it has a bad, well, it has a little bit too much room on the universal brake. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Try that again. That thing did excellent in this soft dirt. So that was the first test run. I knew that was going to be an issue. I'm trying not to trim that bumper unless I really have to. I'm going to see how the suspension lift does, but obviously trail crawling, it's going to be flexing a lot if I do any trailing with this. If my son does any trailing with this, because this is my son's truck, I'm building it for him, and after all, I just wanted him to be able to see it, you know, so he can drive around. And I've had this thing for a little while now, and I've been building, and he hasn't been able to play with it. I've been letting him play with other ones, obviously, so he doesn't happen to be without a truck, but I'm sure he wants to be able to play with his truck a little bit more than he has. And I don't know if you notice, but I'm definitely going to have to change this front drive shaft out. And what I was talking about is, you see this thing here, it can just kind of twist on there. See that angle? And then as it spins, it hits on one side. It's open on one end, closed on the other. So this shaft is wobbling under torque, and then it's binding. So that's going to have to go, because this one has much less clearance and it doesn't allow wobbling on the shaft end on either end. However, these keep losing or coming loose. These little grub screws keep having them come loose on me. I'm going to have to tighten them up again. But that was the issue I was having, is this thing was binding up, and then right at the end this thing came loose, and I have to get some Loctite on there. So yeah, new shocks, new drive shaft, and maybe some trimming. I don't want to trim it. Maybe some trimming. But thanks for watching, and please subscribe. I love building this stuff. I enjoy it. I might enjoy it a little bit too much because I end up doing a lot of building and not a lot of driving videos. But this trailer, I painted it. You can kind of see it almost looks, I wouldn't call it aged because I'm a rookie, but it looks aged and used. This was an all green trailer. You can see the green here, and kind of changed it up a little bit. There's a mix of camo paint. It's got a black tailgate, black bed, black rails, and I kind of made it look like it had some mud on it maybe. I'm going to do a build with this thing. I'm going to put some frame rails, and I'm going to put WPL drivetrain under it.